everyone, welcome back. It's the Louis Vuitton Princess, and today we are here filming something a little different. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of my favorite new bag styles, and today we're going to be talking about Gucci, why I said it's a little different. I very much go back and forth with my love for Gucci. I've had several Gucci bags in my collection. I've had the floral hobo, I've had the XO horsebit hobo, which is a very popular one. I go back and forth quite often where I buy a couple Gucci bags, then I sell them, then I buy a couple more and I sell them. But now I feel like I'm actually kind of getting into like my Gucci rhythm and picking bags that I definitely want to keep as permanent parts of my collection. So this is my third Gucci bag that I have right now. I eyeballed this one for a little bit and then I pulled the plug and just decided I would give it a try. So this is the Gucci Sherryline camera bag or crossbody, whatever you want to call it. I decided to take the plunge and give this bag a shot because it was for sale with a very popular reseller, wholesaler, so I knew I could get it for cheap. I found this one for $190. Yeah. Now, it's not perfect, and that goes into why I was able to get it for $190, but as you guys know, a lot of times what I like to do, especially if it's like a bag style or a brand that I'm not super familiar with, is I do like to buy something that's kind of cheap first, just so I can feel it out and see how I like it, and then I'll go on from there. So this is one of those bags where this sort of vintage Gucci, era, it had been speaking to me. It had been calling me. I really liked it. I just didn't know much about it. And I still wasn't sure how I felt about the style because to some extent, this style, it looks kind of aged in comparison to some of the other Gucci, newer Gucci. And, there's always that sort of balance between things being aged and things being classic. And I couldn't really make up my mind about whether I felt like this look was aged or I felt like it was classic. I couldn't make up my mind. So it ultimately took me getting one and seeing it in person and wearing it and trying it on to decide that I feel like the look is classic, not aged. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you guys can tell me in the comments what you think about that, whether it's a classic or aged look, but it's giving classic. So let's talk about the bag, some of the features I love about it, and how it over time went from a bag that I brought for $190 to test out, figuring that I probably was going to end up selling it, to one of my most used bags. I have carried this bag many days this summer. It has become one of my most used bags, and now I'm going to tell you why that is. For starters, it is super cute. It's kind of like, it's subtle, classy luxury. That's the best way I can describe it if I would pick 3 words. Subtle, classy, luxury. You do have some of that Gucci web monogram that, stands out and says, this is a Gucci bag. Like, you are getting that from this. But at the same time, it's a very classy style. And it is still sort of subtle. And then you have the subtle, Gucci markers, the red and the green, the little GGs, which I actually thought it was interesting that I was drawn to this bag because pretty much all of my other Gucci bags that I have are very out there. They have very big hardware, big, Gucci interlocking. So I thought that the fact that I liked the subtle GG look was kind of odd because that's not like a lot of my other Gucci bags. Nonetheless, it's very much giving, subtle, classy, luxury, very, very cute. The first thing I really like about this bag is it does have waterproof features. Now, this might be a silly question. I probably could have looked this up, but I didn't. Is with some of these like vintage Gucci web bags, some of them are the coated, so you can hear Yeah, some of them are coated and some are cloth. I didn't really want cloth because I already have a Gucci bag that is cloth. I don't hate it because it's cloth, but it's like, you know, I have to be more mindful of like if there is anything that could stain it, if it gets wet, spilling things on it. It's not as carefree. And I wasn't sure if this particular bag style was the cloth or the coated, but this particular bag style is the coated, and I absolutely love that. Very much similar to, you know, the kind of Louis Vuitton canvas where it's coated, waterproof, you spill something on it, you wipe it off, very low maintenance, very easy. The next thing that I really love about this bag, and I'm not even going to try to say it, is the leather trim. I don't know what type of leather trim Gucci uses. You know, Louis Vuitton uses Vachetta. I'm the Louis Vuitton princess. I know what Louis Vuitton uses. I don't know what kind of leather trim Gucci uses, but I do really like it. I love how the brown, the dark brown, the light brown, how they complement each other. You have the red green accents, the gold accents. I do really like this leather, and I was not sure if it was like all weather leather. I wasn't sure if it was waterproof or not, but again, this was my trial Gucci bag. So, you know, it's like I did the little test, you know, always do a little test where, you know, you find, you know, kind of a spot maybe on the strap or something that's not visible, and just, you know, put a little drop of water, do a little test. I did the little test came back good. So the day I actually wore this out, it was raining. So I was like, well, we're going to put it to the test. We're going to take it in the rain. And she passed the rain test, no stains. Now, if you're not a Louis girl and you're a Gucci girl, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're a Louis girl, you know, you already know how it is. Vachetta can get water spots, water stains. So I feel like so many people who are into Louis Vuitton, you just automatically have like a little fear of water because, you know, it can really mess up your bags. Like I literally scrolled across a Blanc Speedy 30 this morning that was basically brand new. It was pristine, except for I think somebody made the mistake of taking their brand new Speedy in the rain, and there were water spots all over it. It was terrible. But nonetheless, no water spots with this bag, and I thought that was great. So it very much is a, you know, round the way, carefree, don't have to really think about anything, grab and go sort of bag, and that's exactly what I was after. The next thing I like about this bag is it does have an adjustable shoulder strap. Now I will say this is kind of a con to this style. There are not very many loops for the adjustable shoulder strap, so it is adjustable, but it's not like super adjustable or anything. And it's like I would kind of question its plus size like friendliness a little bit. Like, so for me, I say this pretty often, but you know, my stats, you know, I'm about 5'10", you know, kind of like 14-16 area. So, you know, I'm deemed a plus sized person. But I know a lot of plus sized people and they don't deem that to be plus size. That's a discussion for another day. However, you know, I'm not gonna base my review on this on me being plus size, because I fully recognize that there's a lot of people who would not consider me that. But at the same time, I will just base it off of saying I'm a 14-16 and this is how it fits on me. So if you're a 14-16, this is how you can expect it to fit on you. And if you are not a 14-16, if you are a larger size than 14-16, then it might get a little iffy. It also just kind of depends on how you're shaped. So the crossbody, and I'm sorry, I'm not like really dressed, so don't mind me. But the crossbody, you know, it's not super long. Like, as you can see on me, again, you know, I'm around 5'10", 14-16, and you can see it's not super long. This is another one of those bags that I think regardless of your stat sizes, you know, how tall you are and your dress size, you know, this is a chest sensitive bag. If you have a larger chest, it's going to take up, you know, a little bit more space coming across. This is how it fits on me, as you guys can see here. And this is sort of like at my crossbody like threshold. Like this is like the shortest I like to wear a crossbody. I prefer it to be like a couple inches lower. This is like my bottom line for crossbody length. So that's how it fits on me as a crossbody. And as a shoulder carry, it does sit closer to where I enjoy. as a shoulder carry. Very cute. I absolutely love how it looks. I mean, this is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. Love the look. Nonetheless though, I just wanted to point out that is one potential con of this bag, is as far as it being crossbody friendly for, you know, my girls who are a little more chesty, you know, my girls who are a little more hippie. It can be a little tricky. For me, it does work as a crossbody when I wear it. I typically wear it as a crossbody, but you know, for other people, it might not fit the way you want it to fit. So just keep that in mind. And for reference, I do have it on the longest shoulder strap setting. Okay. The next thing I love about this bag is the gold hardware. I am a sucker for gold hardware. I really just like don't like silver hardware. I mean, I'm honestly the same way with my jewelry. I don't like silver jewelry. I like gold jewelry. So I really like the gold hardware. I think it just adds a lot, really complements the browns. So next up, this bag has decent pockets. So there is a front pocket here, and it's relatively sizable in here. You know, you could fit a little something in this front pocket area. Then next up, we have the interior. Now this is when it gets a little funky. So I actually have an organizer in the bag right now, so I don't feel like I can give you like true feedback on the interior, just because I have an organizer in. This organizer is not a perfect fit. I kind of just eyeballed it because basically this is a vintage style, so I could not find an organizer that was a perfect fit for this style. So you can see how it's not quite perfect, but I needed something, so I'll take the organizer out just to show it to you. You can see what it looks like. And if anybody's interested in knowing which organizer this is, feel free to let me know and I will put the link. Again, it's not a huge bag, so I don't have a ton in here. Just, you know, I have my monogram reverse card holder. I have a multicolored zippy coin. I don't know, I forget what style wallet this is, but I've come to really love this wallet. It's very large. So I have this wallet, a lip gloss. So not like a ton in here. You could definitely fit more. And you know, the reason why I say I can't really give like a true review of the interior of this bag is simply because the bag is actually larger than this organizer. So I'm sure if you had your items like in the bag, you could definitely fit more than what fits in this organizer. However, oh, and I have my AirPods in here, my little AirPod case. However, I feel like this is an important thing to mention. The reason why I have an organizer for this bag is because there's some sort of weird peeling in the bag, which is why it was cheap. And the person who I brought it from they fully told me that was the case. So the interior has some sort of weird peeling. It's a vintage bag, so you can expect that, and you can kind of see it. But essentially what it does is it leaves kind of like a powdery sort of like residue. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up, but it leaves like this weird kind of flour consistency residue. When I first got the bag, again, the seller did disclose that to me. So when I first got it, I vacuumed it out and got rid of most of it. So I did get rid of most of it because once again, I thought I was going to sell it originally, and I'm like, I'm not going to sell a bag that has this type of issue. So I vacuumed it out, got rid of most of it. And I think that was also a reason why I decided to keep it, was because, you know, that particular issue, once I noticed it a little bit more, I kind of felt like, well, I don't know, this might be a little bit of a harder sell just because this issue is there. I dealt with it, but it still is a slight issue. Nonetheless, so the interior of the bag is actually pretty spacious, and there is another zipper section pocket in the back here. So quite a few pockets, quite a bit of room. You definitely could fit more than this organizer, like I said. But I would say the vintage interior is sort of a con. And that's something to make sure that if you're looking to buy this bag pre-loved, 100% inquire about that first, about the state of the interior. Now, the bag can be relined, and honestly, I do love this bag enough that I am considering taking it into Gucci and just getting it relined. But you know, I also don't really mind using an organizer, so we'll see. Nonetheless, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I actually wasn't planning on making the video this long, but I really love this bag. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Key takeaways again from the bag: it's very carefree, very low maintenance. It's kind of plus size iffy, so keep that in mind as far as a crossbody. Very classic, vintage, not aged, but you know, giving classic, not aged. Very much so still hip and trendy, subtle, but you know, still giving you that Gucci flair. As always, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I might even have some more Gucci videos for you guys at some point in the near future. As always, if you'd like to see more of my collection, Gucci and Louis Vuitton, feel free to stop by the Louis Vuitton Princess on Instagram. And if you're interested in shopping my closet, make sure that you stop by Shop LV Princess on Instagram as well.